Well, it's Friday. We're trying to get the chairs a little closer here. Forewarned, I've been sick for weeks, so you're gonna hear. I'll do my best. I'm gonna have to keep blowing my nose, but that's just the way that it is. I don't feel bad. It just
keeps happening.
It just won't stop. It's like literally 2 weeks. No idea. Sorry. So here we are. It's Friday.
Yes.
What up?
He got a haircut.
I did. The boy and I got a haircut today. Went downtown and got a haircut at Dean's Barbershop, where I've been going on and off for my whole life. Lots of fun. I don't know. I don't think there's really much else going on.
No.
Well, I am pretty. A lot of people seem to be very excited about the 7548 with the 6105 insert. If you haven't seen that video, it's a pretty short video. It's under 5 minutes, and so you can just check it out. The gist of it being that in early Daini inserts for the 6105s, Daini, because Daini would make them to help out Suwa, but the Daini ones seem to be sort of this deep midnight blue, and we got in a 7548 7000 JDM, and it came, from what I can tell, stock with one of those, and so it seems to me that maybe they were using up old pieces they had sitting around. But it was pretty wild to see. I don't think I've actually ever seen a 7548 come in with something that I can basically guarantee from the get-go is a 6105 insert. But that's what this one is.
Wow.
I drink of water. Hang on.
Oh, goodness. I was like, where did that watch go? There it is.
Oh, yeah.
It was under my leg.
Well, watches have to go somewhere. Oh, hey, we should do wrist check.
Hooray!
Hooray, hooray. Okay, wrist check. This is my favorite. This is the great. This is the 6105 8110. I will never get rid of. This is I call this watch a new hope because the case back, somebody hand inscribed a big with like an electric pencil, but they didn't do a bad job. ANH, and I was wearing this watch when my son was born, so that sort of refers to him, and also for Dad. I mean, Dad knew that my son was coming. He didn't get to meet him, but it was nice. So anyway, that's why I have this, but also, it's just perfect. This one went through a service, and the hands must have been bad because, that happens, and Seiko sent sub hands. Like substitute hands. Instead of the stick hands, they got 6309 hands on there. I love the way it looks. And because they're service hands, I consider this a perfectly legitimate watch, not a mod. And this feeds my personal theory that the 6309 handset was originally intended for the 6105. Because the same team designed both of them. Because the shape of the dial and the shape of the hands, it just works. It works perfectly. It works perfectly. And so, anyway, I just think it's just the way it ought to be.
Okay, now it's my turn. I'm going to continue on with this super cool club. Except for mine has, what do you call them, stick hands?
Yeah, yours has the standard 60 style straight hands. With the long sweep, you'll notice. Type 1 crystal, that's original.
And then the thing with the stuff that they haven't seen yet.
Huh?
With the you said it's a coin thing.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's the edge of the 6105 is that beautiful coinage. Think about a big, 50-cent piece, right? It's always going to have that on the end. But everything else original. It's original finishing. And note, it has that beautiful, slightly blue Daini insert.
So then we compare it to
Yep. That's what it is. It's crazy, huh? I wonder how many of these have that. I've just never seen one with that kind of blue. like fresh. Clearly it was that color when it went onto the watch. That's sweet. I'm looking forward to redoing this watch. That'll be fun. Okay.
Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool to compare my watch with that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm playing around. Folks, don't worry. I'm not planning on doing any vandalism. But I really did want to see what that blue insert looked like on an actual 6105. It's pretty neat. I'll look at it some more and we'll figure stuff out. Mm-hmm. So we've got questions.
Yes.
Oh, because of my voice and everything, I don't think we're going to be doing a ton of questions today. I mean, we're doing every question we can, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Sorry.
It's okay. Anyway.
Love me, love my nose.
I love your nose.
Well, thank you.
Did I tell them about the first quote-unquote date we went on?
I don't know. Did you?
When you blew your nose? Yeah, we were in a restaurant and he blew his nose and I was like...
Was that first place we went to that in North Falmouth?
The one where you got pasta and I got chicken sandwich.
It was one of those things. It was like a weird American kind of interpretation of like fancy Italian, like seafood linguine with like white cheese sauce, and it almost tasted of nothing.
It was called like haystack because I was like, what the hell is a haystack?
I don't know either.
Well, I mean, I know what a haystack is, but being for pasta, I don't know.
Well, you see, back in those days, when I was busy wooing and courting her, her number one thing that, if you really wanted to make good, was bacon cheeseburger followed by ice cream. And so that's what we did. And, those days are long gone. But,
very long gone.
But it was nice. Okay.
Okay.
Enough blabbling.
Yes. Okay, from Bruce Barlow, glamping at its best in the garage, rock on. Mm-hmm. And I've also been offloading a few watches recently before I head up your way in October. So see, other people are selling stuff.
Actually, I've noticed a trend. I've had a couple people talk recently about their downsizing their collections for this, that, or the other reason. I had a gentleman reach out to me. He's the original owner of his 6105 that he bought when he was in the service during Vietnam. He bought it in the Philippines, and he showed it to me, and we were talking about some stuff, and we're kind of talking about that watch. But he mentioned that some of his friends were downsizing too. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just something in the air. We are at an inflection point of history. We are at everybody's going through kind of a psychic house cleaning, spring cleaning, dump in the past, let's move forward.
A purge, but not the purge.
Well, the 20th century is really ending. But this is it. I mean, Russia delayed the end of the death of the 20th, the passing of the 20th century by a good 3 decades. It shouldn't have been this long, but they wanted to do the final battle of the Cold War. They wanted to do it. And they're going to close it out. And when Russia collapses, which they will soon, when Russia collapses and the Putin regime is gone, it's going to start a new era. We're almost there already. I believe it. Anyway, hi.
Hi. I wasn't actually listening
She never does.
No, I do, but because I said the purge, and I was thinking of that Rick and Morty episode.
Yep.
So he's over here talking, and I'm like thinking, what does Rick say? He's like, Morty, it's a purge planet or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. It'll have to come to me. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Did I talk to Bruce Barlow? Did I respond to his question?
Well, no, it wasn't a question. I just put that on there to say, look, other people are offloading watches.
It's true. I thought he had a question, though, talking
it's in another part.
Well, it will be, since we're talking about it.
No, I have an order.
Okay.
And I have, because I put the questions together, I made sure to I can put checks. Look at.
Awesome. So for any Germans who are watching, Ordnung muss sein.
What?
Order must be maintained. It's a common German saying. Order must be maintained. You can't have chaos. We live in a society. We live in a society of rules. Norms. Accepted norms.
Chaos magic. Was that in Witcher? Yeah, that was in Witcher.
Yeah, isn't that also Loki's thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wait, or is that Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet Witch.
I don't even know who you are. Oh, you will. I wish they'd really... I would have been delighted if they just... Because each hero got to turn at Thanos. I wish they would have just dogpiled him. Mm-hmm. And just beat the ever-loving crap out of him.
Wow.
Well, you know what? Why not? I mean, I don't care if you can throw a moon at the guy and he's not injured. You're up against massive superheroes. If Scarlet Witch hadn't been stopped by, bombardment from basically orbit, she would have ripped into pieces. Look at what she did to Ralph Reed, or Rex Reed rather.
Dr. Reed.
Dr. Reed stripped them into pieces, killed all of them. Mm-hmm. Imagine, she was already pretty pissed at Thanos to start with. They should have just let her rip them to pieces. Oh no, all of them. Can you imagine? Just the last 45 minutes of the movie, like 25 minutes, that's probably good enough. But just beating the tar out of him.
You like being in that chair because you can really...
It just, I would hope that Thanos would have learned a couple of things.
Okay.
Because bullies, if you get on top of them, put them down.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I carry on?
If you think that's the right thing to do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, then.
Adrian Hargreaves. I also did that. Wait, my MM300?
Oh, he's talking about he had a watch. He loved it. And he was like,
However beautiful, just stayed in my watch box doing absolutely nothing, so it had to go. I also want to try other brands.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, for me, literally, there's no watch that I'm selling that I don't love. Like, no joke. I had to get to the point, though, that my criteria for choosing what I was going to keep had to be pretty high. And I feel good about it. It's very rare that when I sell a watch, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that watch back. What are you going to do? So I look and I just don't want to be ruled by stuff. I have too much stuff.
We have stuff.
I come from an extremely dysfunctional family, and the only things that they value were things. They didn't care about people at all. So,
but he inherited a lot of things, so there's lots and lots of ancient old things.
Lots and lots and lots of ancient old stuff here. But you know what? People are more important than things. But looking at my watch box, I'm like, I have all this stuff I just don't wear. Wouldn't it be nicer? I guess I'm getting to the point where I would rather have a smaller collection of really important watches that I've really been wearing and loving and hunting down versus, a wide range of stuff. It's the way it is. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to move stuff on. It's just stuff.
It is just stuff. Mm-hmm. Mike D. about Knights of the Old Republic. The game is from 2003. I think it is based off of a Star Wars comic series, and it has D&D combat dynamics. It's so good. I've been playing it on my Switch. I hate playing games on mobile. Unless
is it mobile only?
I bought it on mobile on the App Store, and I mean, if I had it for the PlayStation or the Xbox, I would probably play it, but I have it on mobile, and it's just I like Stardew, right? I like Stardew. I have it on my phone. I never play it. I don't know.
It's just one of those things. I mean, can you imagine playing Witcher on phone? You can do it.
It's on a Switch.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm confusing it with Skyrim. Which it's the point now that it's because it's such a meme, Skyrim, the opening of it. Hey, you're finally awake. God, do you remember the one with the lady?
Which
where
one?
She's running towards the camera?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
It's one of the strangest meme ones. It's pretty wild. But in any case, that game, people have played it on refrigerators.
I know. I've tried to play it multiple times, but then, I don't know, I'd stop, and then I'd have to start over again because I didn't remember anything. And that freaking scene, how many times have I sat through it because you can't skip it?
You're finally awake. And you can't skip the damn thing.
Can't skip it, it's terrible.
I don't know, I liked Skyrim, but I didn't understand the talent tree or the combat mechanics were kind of strange. Also, I didn't build my character correctly, so it's probably like, half cat, half turkey, and 3/4 duck or something. Everybody seems to end up being a stealth archer. I ended up being some kind of a weird sword-wielding mage person. Plus, also, I got, what's the name of the anti-vampire sword you get at that one? It's one of the first things. It's like Starburst or Sun something or other.
I don't know.
It's a light-powered sword, basically. But always with all this crap with soul shards and stuff's running out, I just was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't remember. I was some kind of mage, I think. Anyway.
Sorry.
From Green Shoes. It would be so great if there would be a network of Seiko experts. There are many, you and even some over here in Europe.
It would be nice.
You were actually talking to Daniel Blair about something like that, so it's interesting that a person also suggested it. So
Yeah.
maybe it's something that really needs to be looked into.
Well, there's a few, watch repair folks like myself that I speak with regularly. There's many, many more that I don't, mostly not for any other reason than I don't know them and they don't know me. But the one thing that's kind of wacky about old vintage watch enthusiasts who also repair watches, and this isn't just me, believe me, this is pretty common. It's kind of like how Terry Pratchett in his books described the hierarchy of witches, and that the standard number of the number of witches in any given situation is one. They don't really get along. They don't really form
I liked
alliances.
those series.
Yeah, it's just like, the natural number of a sisterhood is one. And so they sort of, he always was like, they can have alliances, but everybody's always kind of waiting to see, how things go. Part of the reason for that is that the spare parts that we need in order to repair these watches, a lot of them are completely just gone. And so that can be really tough. One of the great things usually you find about networking like that is it helps with, finding rare parts. I just, for me, and I'm down for that, but the problem that I'm not a parts store. And so, everything I have here, I have to basically future-proof our business. So I don't have to worry about, do I have this or do I have that? And so if, I find that a lot of people, I have some reputation as being like a watch repairing dragon sitting on my hoard of parts. But that's not true. I have a pretty tight, specific group of things I need for the watches that I focus on.
Yeah, and who freaking cares? And you know what?
I just hate saying no to people.
I don't care. You're not. No, I'm talking about that. You're holding on to the stuff that's just silly. You know what? They're jealous that you took the time to find these things.
Oh, they're not even that. They're just like, I don't know. But I've had many people be like, why are you holding out on me? It's like, I don't have to sell you anything.
No.
What's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. And if I don't feel like selling it. So anyway, I don't know. I like talking with other people. I really do. It's just because my business life and my watch happiness life are completely intermixed. It makes it harder for me to hang out and talk to people online or chat because everybody's like, hey, while I got you. And then I just don't like saying no to people. And I'm always being put in situations where I have to say no.
It is very frustrating. His frustration is genuine. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't
We
say...
should all be a little more patient with each other.
Yes.
And I'd like to be, I still don't think of myself as any kind of crazy professional. I'm still just me.
I just had a thought and it just went away. Gosh darn it. It was going to be a good one.
Well, it'll come back, I hope. I'm sure it will.
I don't remember.
Sorry. That's what you get from marrying somebody who won't stop talking.
Okay. Next is from Tom End, and we have 3 different things. Okay. 1. I'd love to see more informational type videos, ones where you pull out a series of watches and talk about them.
It'd be neat. I have been, like I said last week and week before, we really want to get back to the forum way the previous way that we had been, which is mostly informational and short videos, not these gigantic long things. Because I have 37 years in customer service. I have a really, really, really hard time not saying no to people. I really do. So I look at all the comments and I look at all the comments. I read every comment and I take suggestions in stride, both negative and both positive, which is great, and unfortunately negative, which is pretty rare. But it's I had a point and I forgot it.
If somebody writes to someone, this is what I forgot, and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" Blah blah blah, and then eventually they're like, now that I got you here, then why don't you just ask that first instead of that? That's just a dick move to anybody. That's what I was going to say.
And people actually do it. People do it a lot more than they should. Because, you know what it's like, right? You have some friend, you haven't talked to him for, 3-4 years. They're in town or something like that. But, you think about them, but you don't really see them around. You guys don't interact, really. The person calls you up and says, hey, texts you, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. How you doing? Great. Hey, do you still have that truck of yours? Because we are moving this weekend and I really need help. Do you like that person? Are you happy about that?
Or if you're a millennial, the person you went to high school with that got sucked into a pyramid scheme.
All of them? That didn't happen to my generation, though it could have, but yeah, your generation.
When I still had a Facebook, I had 2 people try to tell me weight loss stuff, one of which was right after I had Sebastian.
I remember that. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Yes. I think I went nuclear.
You did.
Oh, okay.
You did. You ripped that person a new one, and they got, I think, really huffy and offended, and then that was the end of it.
Yes. Okay, next one. We just revisited Star Wars episodes 1 to 3. I definitely have a more nuanced view now of Anakin, his internal struggles, and how he was turned by Sidious. They were quite enjoyable. In fact, no more hokey than the original 3.
Really?
Wow, a lot of people just jumped up and went...
I don't know, man. It's seriously, it's the George Lucas's quote about Anakin. Mm-hmm. You remember. Mm-hmm. For those who didn't watch that or couldn't sit through it, you probably aren't going to want to sit through this either, but I'll try to make it short. Just to recap, basically it was a quote from George Lucas in, I think, 1983, talking about what went through Anakin/Vader's mind towards the end when he was looking at the Emperor busy killing his son, who he had more or less just found out about. And the idea, it always confused me that Vader... He could be 100% bad. Grr, I'm evil. I don't send back my library books. And then he goes to boom, 100% good. Everything's forgiven. George Lucas says it wasn't like that. Is that Vader was Vader, and Vader was like 80, 90, 95%, 98% of Anakin. But there was just enough of Anakin in there to...
No, you meant 98% Vader.
But there was still a little bit of enough Anakin in there that he was able to make a choice to do what he did, and it was not for a benefit of himself. He had always wanted to overthrow the Emperor and my new empire.
Yeah, but and also if you think about in Rebels, in the Ahsoka fight, that was another example of a little bit of Anakin coming out. Right.
Well, that's where they got that. Was from this George Lucas quote.
Oh.
Dave Filoni and Paz Vizsla, the voice actor for Paz Vizsla, whose name I can't remember.
Happy.
Yeah.
John
Favreau. Yeah, that's where a lot of that stuff came from. But anyway, so Vader, who had planned as Vader to take over from even before he was in the suit, when he still looked just like regular old Anakin, he'd been planning to take over, and that's the Sith thing, right? But, there was that little bit, and that little bit made that choice to sacrifice all those goals and all of that ambition, and even his own life, and to burn all of that to save someone else. So that is, that's powerful. It's not that he was redeemed at all. It's that he was able to make a redemptive act. So that's valuable. And that I understand now. Before it made no sense to me. It's like, it's not like bad angel, good angel. People are complex.
Mm-hmm. Okay, number 3. Talking about other brands, I just picked up an Oris Chronoris date watch for my daily wear. I'd settled on an internal bezel diver, and while I wasn't looking for Seiko styling, this watch with its cushion case radial brushing, internal 60-minute bezel, and funky colorway, it's very much like a 70s Seiko.
Can you look that up?
Yeah, I thought that you did.
No, I haven't done anything. Honey, I've been sick.
I know you've been sick.
I have been sick, and it has not been fun. Oh yeah, so they did it like a. Well, here's the picture. So it looks like they did it almost like it's a super compressor. See the double crowns? Yeah, radial brush. That is actually, Seiko had a case very much like that on the E370s. Some of the E370s had a case a lot like that. Definitely a very Seiko-like colorway and with the straight hands. And I'm such a sucker for this color combination. White and black and orange and metal, gunmetal. It's like, I stripped down my watch collection to how many? Like 9 watches, something like that. Almost a large, solid majority of them are black and orange and white and silver.
They all were.
Not all of them. There are some. My Omega doesn't have any color on any of the hands.
Right.
Actually, either Omega. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a pretty neat looking watch. I'd like to see it. It's got a few colorways. Wait, what's that one? Oh, that's just a different color strap. Oh, these are all. They're not. Oh, there's another colorway. So they had 3 of the colorway and 3 different straps, and then they've got that model. Oh wait, this one is gold and black and white and orange. Depends how the gold looks. It could go either way. I like the bracelet. Look at that fine link bracelet on that thing. Yeah, and again with these, they've just got not really different colorways. They've got. Oh, okay. Now, I don't know how that one works. Look at this. Okay, so black hands on a black face, and all you see is the lume with a big orange seconds hand. And an internal bezel. I dig just about everything about that. Oh, wow, I just got one of those bracelets, but an original, not one of these. The original one, it went on a radio, I believe. And you see, and this is a full helmet case? No, it still has lugs. It's got like a 7016 handset, straight sword points with half lume. That's a lot with the 7016 handsets, like the Monaco's and such. Holy cow! Now that's a throwback you can get behind. Yeah, baby.
Let me see.
Well, it's not Oris. This is Yema. Remember, we have an original Yema. The original, the real deal.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Isn't that wild?
Uh-huh.
So one of the older skin diver companies was Yema, and they were in France. And I have an original, actually fairly rare Yema that is, the case spec says sub SUB 007. I don't know how that didn't fall afoul of copyright laws. Maybe it did, but I like vintage Yema. But look at that. Sorry. Probably can't see because it's so damn bright. Whoa. Any case, they really did a fine job. Oh, yeah, look at this one. Actually, that one's pretty kick-ass. We're back there in the Chronoris. Yeah, that's cool, huh? I like that one. Apparently the world is tuning in. I don't know, that's pretty restrained. I'm back to liking that one on the bracelet. Last thing, I guess, is to see how they look in person. I don't know if I answered his question.
I don't know. He was just talking about it. From Peter Russell. After liking the Redune 6105 8000 homage, what do you think of their Willard homage?
I don't know. I've never seen one. There you go. You know, they got a lot of traction off of that first couple of videos I made about the Redune. I mean, they sold out of their stock 3 or 4 times after that video came out. I had somebody write me to say, "Man, your video has done some amazing stuff. They're selling them on army bases now. They're one of the popular soldiers' watches."
I didn't know that.
Somebody wrote me and told me about it. I was like, "You're kidding?" They never even thanked me. Oh well, and when they wrote me because they wanted another free video, I guess, and I said, "Well, you know that last one I did, you know, no one ever reached out to me," and they were like, "Yes, we did." I'm like, "No, you did not reach out to me. You haven't even thanked me." Oh, well, thank you. They want me to review a watch. You want to review a watch? Me to review a watch for you? Why don't you send me a few?
Yes.
No need for a return label. No, but seriously, I haven't seen one of the new Willard things. I'd like to. Their casework was really good. I mean, it was astonishingly good. There were some other things that I would have changed to make it a little bit better. Maybe they have changed those things, but they were definitely on the path. I was very impressed with everything about their product except their customer service and their willingness to take without giving.
Well, you know, capitalism. Okay, now for the 7548 video.
Oh, yes.
From Joseph Stewart. Hey, S&S. So great to see you excited about another 7548. I was a little worried last week when you said you were getting bored with some of your watches. So glad to see the 7548 still gets you going.
The problem is that I set myself up into a trap, which was I don't want to be a hoarder and sort of one in, one out, and there's a certain range of watches I wanted, and everything just became kind of stale. It's not that I don't love any of these watches. I mean, everything, if the only car I ever got to look at for the rest of my life was my MGB, I'd probably get pretty bored of it. Mm-hmm. Unless I did something like, you know, give it hydraulics. Boom, boom, boom. Bum, 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 bum. Oh yeah, man. Do the whole thing lowrider. Dude, I'll even do like, I'll have like the
now
old
he's
school,
gonna get going.
the old school pinstriping and everything. Put Krager mags on it.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, they're just old. Actually, you wouldn't put Kragers on a hopper. They'd have to be little other things.
Okay.
I'm not making my MG into a hopper.
Thank you. From Bruce Barlow. Spencer, pop that blue bezel one off and check underneath for a shim. If not present, you may be right. May have been old stock fitted at the end of the 7548 run. That just recently sold off 5 of these, but never had a blue insert on mine. I've seen black ones faded blue, but not original blue ones.
Yeah, seriously, I'm with you. I was kind of amazed, actually. I popped the bezel off, fully expecting to see that shim, because it was installed into a 6309 rotating ring, okay? A 6105 insert typically would have that shim. There was no shim in here. I'm like, that's weird. But then I got out my chronometer, and I got out my collection of original inserts, ones that were 6309, 7548 in origin, and also some 7002 ones. and also some genuine, absolutely guaranteed 6105, 8110 Willard ones. This is a 6105 bezel. Bezel insert. It's skinnier. It doesn't have an insert on it. The outer edge is slightly raised. I could probably sneak an insert under this, but I don't know how well it would go. I would say right now it's perfect. Just as it is. I don't know why. Maybe the ring is subtly different. I don't know. I do love the ring on this one too, because the ring is also my favorite type.
What?
Well, because the knurling on these 6309 bezels, 7548 bezels, the way that they made these is it's a ring. It's basically, you have this, you carve out, basically, so you have two like round topped rings, and then you have a circular, and it goes zzz, zzz, zzz. So sometimes they're taking out that vertical circular part, and they go down pretty far. And so it crosses the bottom line between the two raised rounded things, and then it kind of looks kind of more choppy and square. But then you have these others where they only kind of touched the top of those two round things. So the predominant look on it is those two round things with just two little teeny tiny divots on it.
Oh.
There's something about it I just like more. I call these the ring type. When you can still clearly see that the two rings are around the 6309 rotating rings. I love the way they look. I just prefer them. Because it gives it a little bit more of a feel of still having that like coin edge. Just a little bit. Because it separates out stuff. Because it makes those verticals stand out a little bit more.
So you like that more than...
Oh, no. I love the 6105 coin edge. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I love it. But this is the next thing, the next one after. And this one just gives just a hint of that. So, yeah, it's cool. So it's definitely a 6105 insert. Absolutely. But there's no insert shim underneath it. Underneath the loom pip is actually, when I pulled it off, it had lint underneath the thing. And it's 100% original. This has never not been in this ring. So it was made this way. And they had some way. I mean, I have to mic it up. I mean, is the rotating ring itself shorter? Would Daini do that? I don't know. They could make the case backs. They made inserts. They made a bunch of stuff.
Seiko should make a history book, because I think they'd make a killing on it.
Well, they have actually a fair amount of historical stuff. They have a museum.
Oh.
Though it's interesting, like, we talk about the 6139 7010, right? The Arabic number dial. They have one of those, and I saw the picture of it, and it's kind of gnarly. It's not nice. It's definitely not new. And I was astonished. I would be like, why would they have a crappy one? You'd think that they'd have examples of everything they ever made in the back rooms. But Seiko's looking forward. That's where the money is.
So is it fish-eyeing? Like, I swear, when I sit back...
Yes.
Whoa.
Yep, it's fish eyes.
How do you make it stop?
I don't think... It's something about the lenses. This iPhone Pro 12 just... Okay, who hates their customers more? Seiko or Apple?
Apple.
Apple hates everyone.
Yeah, they let people jump out of windows.
They've been using Chinese slave labor since, like, I don't even know, since the 2000s.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do?
I think it's time for People's Revolution.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not getting into it.
Please don't get into it.
I'm not going to get into it.
Anyway, Omoplateism.
What?
That was his name, his screen name. I didn't know that 7548 and 6105 share the same insert. I am after for such blue insert to put it on my 7548 logo Pepsi.
Well, it's one of those things that's rare. I've never, more and more as I think about it, I don't remember. Maybe one time before that it was like half blue. It was like half blue because it was like lighter blue on like the upper corner like this and darker blue down here, and it was completely original, and I never figured out why it was like that going black to blue. It was really cool. But it's one of these things I hesitate to talk about stuff like this because now I'm afraid that everybody's going to be racing out trying to buy 7548s hoping to get a 6105 insert. You're not going to know until you get it, and I don't know that it's that important, but that's the only thing I worry about. Well, no, I worry about lots of stuff.
Yes, but about the 7548 that's what you worry about.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one I get to answer.
Oh, good, I can have a drink.
From Andrew Logan, what happened at the end there? I thought he got it out. Oh, so we're in
Wait.
What?
Well, you start talking, but don't tell them what we're talking about. I'll be right back.
Wait, don't tell them?
Well, I'm getting this.
Okay. Oh, okay. He has a
Show and tell.
show and tell, yeah. So, anyway, he's working on his guitar.
Yeah, my Stratocaster.
Yeah, and we did the video on the workbench out here, and to get that out of the way, he put it on top of the MG.
Right, because there's there's no such thing as a clean, flat surface.
Right, so that's also where he feeds Kraken, and he has a carpet down for her because she's a little princess.
Yeah, I had to have a couple. She doesn't like cold metal on her feet.
No.
So I had to, and she doesn't like being on the ground when she's eating. She always likes being up higher when she's eating, especially or trying to relax. And so I can't. It's the closest place I can find where I can put carpet up there on the top of the MG, and then she'll eat up there. But
Anyway, so she jumped up there to get some food, but it was old food, which just smelled awful. And I'm standing over there, and I'm like, she is going to do something to knock that thing with that on it off the slide, like, back of the MG.
Well, to be fair, I was invading her space with my crap.
Anyway, I was like, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. And I wasn't even paying. I didn't even have I wasn't facing the video. I was facing the car, looking at the cat, and she was so offended by the old cat food that she started scratching the carpet up, which was making that go boop, boop, boop.
And if she hadn't done that, if she hadn't noticed or seen that, I would have been making the end of that video, and I would have heard clonky bunk bunk, and I would have said, "Oh my God!" And I would have turned around, and I would have seen what was left of my genuine American Fender Stratocaster body, all banged up on the floor. So thank you very much for watching.
Yes, one of my superpowers I developed being a mother is seeing every possible bad thing that could happen to try to prevent it.
Yep, as Harry Potter, as Mad-Eyed Moody said, constant vigilance. It's the only thing from the Harry Potter series I loved the portrayal of. Was Mad-Eye Moody in the movie. In the movies, that was great. Constant vigilance.
Okay, now Rolex video from Seiko. I love it. I may be wrong, but I think the last year of tritium on subs was 1998 when they went to the Swiss dial. Then the Swiss made in 1999.
Or when Mankind Undertaker threw Mankind through the, how does the clip go? In Hell in a Cell in 1998. I'm sorry, go on.
Cage matches are so weird. Just the idea of it. It's so absurd. I was raised watching wrestling.
I don't really see that copy paste, or that one guy. There's one dude on Reddit.
I know.
And he always tells these ridiculous shaggy dog stories that seem entirely plausible in serious science and all this other kind of stuff. And you go through this weird shaggy dog story, and then somehow it manages to evolve in him saying, like in 1998, when The Undertaker threw Mankind through something in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so It's about the tritium and the Rolex.
Not the triticale.
What? What?
Trouble with triples, my dear. Or no, I'm sorry. It's quattro triticale. That was the stuff that they had on the space station. That's the stuff that the tribbles were eating. I had the name wrong.
Oh wait, are we fish-eyeing again?
Probably.
God, this...
The last couple of videos that we've been making out here, I'm like, I look like I've been drinking butter. It's like, what the hell is going on? I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I like don't do anything bad anymore. And it's like, if I get any bigger, I'm not going to be able to get out of the damn chair. Well, it turns out this thing fish eyes like crazy.
So we like go back at fisheye. So we're trying to be like...
Yeah, because, it's not pleasant to look at, because, of course, my mother had massive, she had a number of interesting problems, one of which is that she was a sociopath, and also, what did you say? Oh, a malignant narcissist. But she also had massive self-image, body image, and eating disorder problems, and she made sure that every single person through her orbit, and especially her children and her husband, knew how fat she thought they were. Yep, so... looking at that kind of triggered me a bit, so. But it's nice to know, from the doctor's scale, when I couldn't stop coughing, to figuring out it was lensing.
Yes, everything's fine. Okay.
Men do not marry malignant narcissists who are also sociopaths. Ladies,
that baby trap you.
Ladies, oh yeah, she baby trapped my dad. Ladies, same advice to you. I think people just shouldn't marry sociopathic, malignant narcissists. Just everybody should stop doing that.
Yeah, but they don't show themselves right away. That's the problem.
God, the pernicious, destructive evil in everybody's life that came like a tail of a comet. Be nice to people. Okay, let's go on.
It was a bicycle with a motor.
Remember, we used to have that guy at the old house. Mm-hmm. Remember that he had only one leg? He had a robot.
Yes!
He had a robot leg.
Yes.
And then he always rode his home motorized bicycle around. Yeah. I haven't seen him in a long time.
We don't live over in that part of town anymore.
No, but I still used to see him a lot. Even out and about. I guess we don't leave the house anymore.
No, we don't. Okay, from Randolph Cirillo. Why, though? It's such a perfect watch. Why sell it?
This is the Rolex.
Yeah.
It is a perfect watch. It is, I spent a long time researching and searching and talking to people and digging around until I found what I was looking for. And it gave me, look, there's another one of those weird primer gray colors.
Oh God, I saw an army green truck. We think that the new color scheme of cars is going to be like military.
Yeah, like there's this new color. It's like this weird slick, almost like Supermarine Seafire gray. You know, that gray undercoating that the RAF would paint their seaplanes with, or any of their planes really, with a blue-gray bottom. Mm-hmm. Because it was supposed to be invisible against the daytime sky. Weren't we talking about something else?
We were talking about Randolph Cirillo asked why you're selling it. He doesn't want it.
Well, it's not that I don't want it. I love the thing. If all things considered, if I didn't feel like it was probably smart to sell it, I'd probably keep it. But man, we've got other stuff we want to do. I mean, we're sitting here, thinking about, getting ourselves debt free and, really freeing ourselves up a bit. And I'm like, why am I holding on to this watch? I want to go and do other stuff. I'm getting to the point where, 60, 70 years ago, it would have been legal for me to retire. Everybody has to work until they die now. And I was thinking about it. I was like, someday it would be nice for us to be able to, hang up our video screen and our watch tools for a little bit and go around the world. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be anytime soon because, well, the children are small. But it'll happen. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, so what's up?
Okay, from Todd S. So in the video, on the paperwork, it said that it was at the Pentagon and it was bought by Mr. Cohen, and Todd said what we were looking up. There is a congressman / secretary
Secretary of State.
senator / no, secretary of what's DEV? I can't remember.
Huh? Secretary of...
I don't know. Secretary of something.
Oh.
Defense?
Defense. Secretary of Defense.
Defense.
Yeah, this was Senator Cohen from Maine. He was just an old school Yankee guy.
I looked for so many pictures of, okay. It was purchased in 87.
Well, it was made in 87. Was it? Oh, yeah, it was made and purchased in 87.
Yeah, and then it went poof from whoever Mr. Cohen was.
Well, yeah, whoever owned it wore it but didn't wear it. They wore it but they didn't beat it to death. Like that's the original bracelet to the watch, and it doesn't have that much stretch. And it seems to me that somebody wore it for a time, and then it looks to me, because the outside of the top right lug as you're looking at the watch is a little thinner. So just that one. So Rolex, when they redid the case, they had to take a hair of that front facing lug off. So I suspect that whoever it was whacked the Jekylls out of that thing bad enough that it had to have, a slightly more material taken off. But it was all cleaned up and restored. But after that, I don't think he wore it much, whoever the owner was. So maybe Mr. Cohen decided after that thing sat at Rolex service, he just had something else going on.
Well, I looked
whoever
at...
that Mr. Cohen is.
I looked at lots of pictures of the politician one, and he wore... digital watch and a dress watch, nothing spectacular.
He's just an old Yankee dude. I mean, they wore whatever told them time.
Okay.
I don't know. If anybody is friends with, former Secretary of Defense Cohen, or if you know him because you see him down at the gym, or, he owes you money, could you ask him if he ever owned a Rolex sub? Don't tell him why you're asking. Was there anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Huh. Funny. Well, kids, I think that's just about it. I didn't lose my voice.
Nope.
I'm glad we figured out the lensing thing. I will take the Rolex under advisement. If we were at zero debt, I'd keep it. We're not at zero debt, and I don't wear it, and it could help with the debt. That's about it, folks. So, you keep enjoying yourself.
Yes.
My brain just started quoting comic book guy from The Simpsons. And I'll see you at the San Diego Comic Convention.
Oh, God. So, Sebastian's watching Cars. I don't know why. So, and you know how we always complain that it's people wishing it was the past? It came out in 2006. So Minnie and Van are going, they get lost, right? You remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So then Sally is like, we have maps. And then Minnie was like, let's get a map. And then he's like, I have the GPS. And I was thinking about it. And back then, it was like you had to buy it separate. And you didn't have the smartphone. So it was like he was using new technology when he should have been using a paper map.
Well, or, what everybody else did at that time, which is to go to mapquest.com
and
print out your turn-by-turn directions, and you staple them in the corner, and then you get your marker ready so you can...
And you hope you don't crash.
Hope you don't crash, man. Hey, we used to go... I grew up... I had the sort of the American upbringing, complete with the gaslighting and abuse. But in any case, we did a lot of road tripping. And it's always when I can remember being... I have lots of different memories. You're somewhere in the middle of this gigantic country getting gas. Oh, make sure we make sure that our atlas is up to speed. Check that local map. He'd unfold the local map. Sandra, our thing is outdated. Ah!
Or when we were driving, I think, to California, and he got us a brand new one.
Brand new atlas. Well, you know what? I was like,
Well, it gave us something to look at.
I was like, hey, when we drove up to bury Dad with his parents and his everything, when we were going through like the area between Wyoming and in and through Oklahoma, heading up to South Dakota, there are stretches of road where it is hours where you see nobody, and there literally is no signal, nothing. I didn't even think we could get radio stations out there unless it was AM.
Wow.
And so in those situations, having an actual physical atlas,
yes,
not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
You always want to have a backup.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you have a physical atlas in the trunk of your car before any long road trips. You're also supposed to always pack blankets along. Remember that. And you should have hard rations and water for at least 3 days. We have a jump pack now too. It's like a spare jumper thing that also blows up tires. That's a nice thing to have.
And we have the first aid kit from Dutchess Community College.
Absolutely, we've got it all. And you want to make sure you check everything and look at all your fluids before you go. You don't want to be like my Uncle Fred.
Oh, God.
Do you want to tell? What's that?
I'll tell. So.
Oh, my dad had 2 younger brothers. Those 2 younger brothers, for some reason, it was the fashion at the time, both got private pilot licenses.
But didn't Fred, become an actual pilot or something?
Yeah, he was sort of like a private pilot for people.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so they were with their wives going in the Caribbean, and they stopped to get gas
Before they flew out.
Right.
And Uncle Dick was he's like, hey, Fred, are you going to fill up? Fred's this ridiculous cheapskate who cheaps out on really stupid things. Oh, no, I'll get gas when we get there. On an airplane. Flying over open ocean.
In the 60s.
In the 60s.
Anyway.
So he runs out of...
He ran out of gas. And then they had to land on some random island where the hotels were $50 a night.
Yeah, but this...
So then, being Kleins, they did not do that, and they decided to sleep in the airplanes.
I remember one of our road trips with Dad, and Dad had gotten this idea. It was during the time of the gas crisis in the 70s. You remember OPEC and Carter and all that stuff. And so Dad was really, really, really super concerned about gas prices. He kept a running journal with every trip, and he noted the mileage and the gas mileage. He did the math every time. And so he estimated what it would be, and he was really tired of buying expensive gas. So we had a 1978 Ford short boxy 150 Econoline van with the opening doors like this. Dad wasn't satisfied with the amount of gas we could carry on board, so he put in 2 more gas tanks. All 3. It was the only trip he used all 3 gas tanks, because the 3rd gas tank made the car smell like gas inside. But he did it. We drove it wasn't without stopping.
Well, you had to stop to go to the bathroom.
Well, basically, but that day of driving was... We drove from Kansas City, Missouri to Virginia in one go. And it must have been 2 or 3 in the morning. And my mother was understandably so in this condition, in this thing, having a meltdown. And Dad was just going to keep pushing. We ended up sleeping in the van in the parking lot of a mall. Somewhere in the Smokies. No, not in the Smokies. Well, whatever, in Middle Western Virginia. Yeah, never again. Never again. That was just, all that effort for what?
I don't know. And like I said to him, I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, gas weighs a lot? And that would put more weight in the car, which would make you have to use more gas.
Yeah, Uncle Fred is so damn cheap. Uncle Fred was one of these guys.
No, I was talking about your dad in the van.
That's another thing. It's this Klein thing. It's like... You're trying to save everything, and because you're always worried about the depression or the Russians are going to come and they're going to take your sons off and conscript them in the Tsar's army. You have to worry about this stuff. Do you have any rope with you? Do you have rope in your car?
We needed rope, and we didn't.
We didn't have it.
Did not have it.
I didn't listen.
Nope.
I didn't listen.
Nope, and we needed it when we got these chairs.
Yep, I didn't listen. What was I talking about?
I don't know. We're just rambling.
No, there was a point I was going to make. Oh, Uncle Fred and his cheapness. So he was one of these guys where he would go and bum a cigarette off of you, but not because he was out, but because he just didn't want to use his own. That's the kind. He also, apparently Uncle Dick told me this, whenever he was in anybody else's car, he would poke around in the ashtrays to get spare change. And then he would use that for whatever he needed or to buy himself gas. Really kind of weird and sneaky and cheap. Well, it's not my fault. I'm not Uncle Fred.
No, I know.
Any case, that's about it. Folks, we're going to try then, as I said, to make more little videos and definitely more restoration videos. I'm getting through the last of this slug of unanticipated work that is coming through. Coming nearly to the end. Sabrina has reorganized everything. So I can physically see progress. So it feels like we're moving forward. So things are going to, we've taken our spiritual laxative and it's going to work.
A spiritual laxative?
Yeah, versus getting my work done. We're clearing out the junk, honey.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for watching. And that's it. We're going to make other videos, and thank you once again for watching. Bye.